Okay, here's the project at hand. This cooler doubles as a seat. It fits inside this frame. Very common in boating to see a cooler seat. It's pretty good. The frame is, of course, solid mounted to the deck of the boat. This seat flips back and forth so you can sit this way. This is how we spend most of our time fishing. Since we tend to fish saltwater, there's typically a current, a tide, and we fish out the back of the boat. Is typically how we do. However, in my advanced years, and some might say advanced girth, I have a bad back. I have arthritis in my back. So this seat is not very comfortable. This pad is not very comfortable. Also, looks wise, it looks a little tacky. These things always break. The snaps break. It's glued down. You can see it's like, looks dirty, ratty. So, the idea is to put two what are called captain's chairs right here. Two individual seats that will swivel so you can face forward. You can swivel sideways out the side of the boat, swivel out the back of the boat. We're going to do this utilizing this frame. Right now I have this piece of wood cut as a template to get my measurements correct. The idea is the platform is going to sit on these lower rails. There's a plastic called starboard, which is what this door is made of. That door, this is whatever that is, 1/2 inch. It flexes a little bit. I've priced a piece of 1 inch thick. 1 inch thick starboard. It's very solid. It's going to be cut to fit. It's going to be supported by these rails and then two captain's chairs. So right now I'm going to fit this piece of wood in there, get my measurements, make sure everything is good, and then send the blueprints in to get the piece of starboard cut. So that's the plan of action. All right. Okay. I've been working on a project to replace the seats in the boat. To change from the cooler seat to captain's chairs. So I've been utilizing SketchUp, which is a drafting software to kind of, it's been fun learning this as well as working on the project. This is the seat frame. Now, it's actually made out of tubing. These are just lines, obviously. I'm learning on SketchUp how to create tubing, which is another level of expertise. You can see here the top ring, which is a rail, and the cooler sits down inside that ring and sits on these rails. So the cooler seat sits with about 4 inches off the deck and then comes up to where the top of the cooler seat's about 22 inches off the deck. The seat frame is just under 10 inches high. So you can see that. Now, this was the first platform I created. Here you can see this will be the base of the seat and then the column of the seat. This is similar to what I'm going to use. Not these exact seats, but here you can you can see the platform. This is the type of pedestal. Different types, very simple to kind of advanced, sliding. The seats mount to the pedestal. So that gives you an idea of what's going to happen here. Now there's a small piece on the frame that is right in here. It sticks up, like right in here. It sticks up. And that's not centered, but there's a small piece like that I need to accommodate. That is where the back of the cooler seat bolts to. And I'm not ready to cut that off of there because I want to be able to go back to the cooler seat in case this project doesn't work. And if it does work, that being there is not going to be a big deal. I can leave that there. So to accommodate that, and there's another one on this end, another of these little pieces. To accommodate that, I made this cutout here. But this one was narrow. This one's 17.5 inches wide, and then has square corners. Then I thought, well, maybe I could make it a little bit wider. My dimensions here are not exact yet because this one is still 17. Let me see, but this one's 36 inches long. I think I've settled on 39. But here, I'm putting a cutout up here on the corner. That's to accommodate this corner right here. So the platform will come in and go around this. It's not quite vertical, it's at an angle, but this up and down post. So that was this one. Now, this is the one I'm working on now, which is kind of starting over. In this design, I've decided the company I'm going to order this piece of Starboard. It's a Starboard plastic. I've been out to look at it, which is a marine plastic. I can get a 1-inch thick piece. It flexes a very tiny bit. However, it's going to have 2 rails running right underneath it. So it is not going to flex when it is bolted to those rails. Now my idea is, since they can use a CNC router, rather than have the cutout here, I'm going to have them router a slot. And that little piece is going to stick right up through this slot. It's going to look cleaner. It's going to give it a cleaner edge. Then I'm going to have them, I'm working on to get the dimensions of my cutout here. And then each 90-degree angle will have a slight radius to it. So it'll have a radius here and a radius here. And this dimension right here, which is now, I think, 3.5 inches by 3 inches, I need to settle on that. That will be replicated on each corner. So it's been kind of fun using this software to kind of work on this project, and then I will be ordering this piece of plastic, and then when I order it, I will send them these dimensions, and they will be able to replicate this, ship it back to me, and then I will get the seats and mount the seats, and I'm really looking forward to using it. I think it's going to be a great addition to the boat. All right, thanks for watching. All right, so I drew this up on that software program, just a thin piece of wood to try and build a template before I spend $500 on the finished piece of plastic. And I thought this might be a problem. It won't, you can't get it in there, like up. That's close right there. Oh, you know what? That's really close. That's closer than I got it before. But here's what I'm seeing is my issue. Those measurements there, okay. But where my issue is now is this bar, it comes up at this angle. So that measurement will clear it on one side, but I'm gonna need, because I'm gonna be dealing with a 1-inch piece of plastic that is not gonna have near the amount of flex as this 1/4-inch piece of wood does. It needs to clear right under here. If I cut this down a little bit farther, it will clear there. I think that's the solution. All right, let me try that. After reviewing everything, going out to the shop, I made a piece like this out of 1/4-inch plywood, and I could get it down into the seat frame. Here's the seat frame. It's hard to get it down in here and around these angled pieces. So I could cut it out farther here, but what I've decided to do is just eliminate these little wing parts. They're not needed, they're not supported. They're not supported by this frame here. It doesn't show the 2 pieces in there. I go ahead and put these pieces in here. See if I can do this real quick. If we go here, it shows you the center point. Come down here. It turns and then across. So that's center to center, but then, so the 2 pieces, the 2 rails underneath are roughly, I haven't quite got this all like roughly there, and there. See if that, turn it a little bit to get that to where I want it. Go back to line. There to there. Okay, that's kind of, obviously that's off. I'm not, SketchUp is funny. Like it really, there, okay. Now erase, there's no center, and then also erase, there's no, that I don't need, and that I don't need. Oh, didn't mean to erase all that. I don't need that, and I don't need that. So the frame has these two rails underneath it that the platform sits on. So the rails run underneath here. So these wings are really like it. Oh, and it doesn't have these. The frame doesn't have those. That's how it is. So trying to make those wings fit around this corner, but then of course you've got these. Let me see. Okay, this is a little better representation of it here. So trying to fit that piece, this piece, down into this frame, down in here with this angle, and to get it around these angled pieces, and then plus it's got the slots have to fit into over these tabs. It I'd have to make these, I'd have to cut these out like this. Like you know, this would have to come out here like and cut there. And eliminate, and then this wing is not supported by anything. It would be hanging out here in space. So my decision is just to eliminate them. That's my decision. So I'm gonna make this section here a little bit wider. So that's what I'm gonna draw up now. Is, I believe, the final design for the seat platform. And here you can see the thickness of it. 1 inch thick starboard marine plastic. Radiused corners 39 inches by 14.5 inches. 2 slots, each slot 2.5 inches in length, 1/2 inch in width. The edge, the outside edge of the slot is 2.25 inches from the edge. That would make the inside 2 3/4. They're 33.5 inches apart. So it's a very simple design. It will fit down in the seat frame, and I believe be very strong. It will be supported by the rails of the seat frame and serve as a platform for the seats. Yeah, so I'm pretty pleased with it. Simple, practical, elegant. Thank you. All right, so working on this project to put a platform inside this frame and then put the seats on there and have 2 individual seats rather than use the cooler for the seat. So I sent the dimensions to the company that was going to cut this piece of plastic. Unfortunately, they cut it wrong. These slots here are supposed to be 2 1/4 inches, and they're 1 1/4 inches from the edge. So they are now cutting a new piece of plastic. They said I can just keep this one since it's not any good for them anymore. But I got a tool. I'm going to cut out some slots here to go ahead and put this one down in there to kind of mock up what it is that I want to do. So I'm going to do that now until the real piece gets here. Okay, finally got the new piece of plastic in, and it fits. It fits right over the tabs like it's supposed to. And super solid, man. It's gonna be like perfect platform for the seats. So I got the U-bolts. So now I just need to drill it for the 2 seat pedestals and the U-bolts, and then we'll give it a shot. I think it's gonna work out really well. So, all right, we'll get this on to the next step. Okay, so Mike's helping me out today.
Good morning.
Getting the seat here done. So we got the piece of plastic in, right, after they had to redo it. So now we are measuring everything 3 times before drilling. We've got our hardware, our U-bolts that we'll use to attach the plastic to the frame. And then we will, after that, we will be mounting the chairs. So this is the project at hand. Okay, yeah, Mike's been laying it out.
Here's our center line.
Yeah.
Here's our template with our U-bolts going around.
Yeah.
They're going to hug the bottom of our steel. That's going to go ahead and hold the whole unit in place, and then we're going to place 2 chairs, drill out the holes, make sure they're centered, they have plenty of swing, and that should give the King Starboard everything it needs.
All right, let's put the chairs in. Let's see what this thing's going to look like.
Let's do it.
All right, this is the first look at the seats in. Of course, once that cardboard is out and it's white underneath, it's going to look so clean. So it is working out. They swivel. Right now they're not bolted down, so we don't want to get in them again and move them. Yeah?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they look very nice. You can use the seat frame as like a footrest. You can swivel out the side of the boat, out the back of the boat.
And the beauty of it is that the seat frame is still bolted to the main plane of the boat.
Yeah.
So basically it's anchored, and everything we're doing is on top, so we don't have to penetrate the hull
Right.
or cause any type of holes that could cause leakage or damage later.
Super clean. We had to adjust one of the bases. There's a screw in there. At first it wasn't staying down, but a couple turns on the screw on the base adjusted that. So now, but we probably won't be going up and down much at all. We're mostly just going to be swiveling, and you're ride a little bit higher, which is actually nice. It gives you a little better view out the front. It feels like there's more room in the back here. The only thing about this boat, I wish I had another couple feet here for when we're fishing to give a little more room here, but it feels like you get that. So now we got to drill it. All right, man. Love it when a plan comes together.
Oh yeah.
All right, so we've laid it out. We've got, this is our template for the U-bolts. This is, just to give you an idea, the U-bolts will go around those pieces there. You've seen those in an earlier video. So this is where the rubber hits the road, or the bit hits the plastic, so to speak. Drill these through. The most crucial is really the U-bolt ones, because they're just wide enough to get over the rail. But I think we're going to be good. I think it's going to work out. All right, we drilled it. The pedestals are mounted to the starboard. Now comes the fait accompli. Is that it?
Yeah.
To make sure the U-bolts all fit. But yeah, it's going together like a glove. All right.
Wow.
All right, this is the final product. This bolted down, that plastic bolted down. It is not going anywhere. The seats, you sit, you can spin in the seat. You can go forwards, backwards if you need to. You can go up and down. Locks in place. Sitting here, you sit a little bit higher. You got footrest if you want it. You can like sit a little bit higher. You can see, steer, everything. Stand up if you need to stand up. You got room.
Yeah,
Nice.
Looks factory fresh, man.
It does. Looks factory. It looks just, and it's solid to the same mount. It's not going anywhere.
It's a lot better than sitting on a cooler, that's for sure.
Now it will be replace this cooler. Just get a small one. We don't need a giant one like that. Have the cooler up front. And yeah, man. Nice. Good job. Cheers.